Trying to get back into the vlog. Hello everybody. It's April 2020 and I'm trying to get back into the vlogs. Everything kind of came to a standstill in the month of April. It is April the 25th and looks like things are going to start opening up at the end of April. Anyway, I hope so. Most of us probably have cabin fever. I don't know if you could class me with having cabin fever or not, because for the past 2 years, I've spent a lot of time in this room, not being idle, but doing several things. I've worked on some projects. I've been doing a lot of writing and some other things. Well, you can see how I'm set up. Since I have this new GoPro, you probably can get a clear vision of my recording room. And this is where it all happens. I always keep this cover over my camera on my laptop. I can remember one time, I'm not going to mention the agent's name, but he said that the first thing he did when he purchased his laptop was put a piece of tape over his laptop camera. So rather than to do that, this video is going to be very informal because I really don't have a lot to say, but I'll explain. So I'm recording the audio with a Blue YETI, and I'm using a program on my laptop. This screen over here is coming from my desktop computer. This operating system, they're both running Windows 10, but my desktop is updated periodically by Microsoft, because they had a program where you could sign up and they would send you the latest version of what they were working on. I forget what the program's called, but I never really notice it because they will always give me a message when they need to update my desktop. And I never really use it for anything. Well, in fact, I doubt if I've used that desktop more than an hour this month of April. And my screen is running off of the laptop. It's an ASUS. I have a i7 processor in that thing. When you do videos, especially now that I've kind of progressed, some of the equipment that I had, my video cameras, they were still good to use, but, well, the one that I was using for blogs or vlogs, that thing was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. It still does a pretty good job, but nothing compared to what I'm using now. I'm running 4K 24 frames per second, which is perfect for stationary. I have my GoPro on a tripod, but it's kind of involved to learn this little thing. It's got so many different things in the menu, but it's like anything else. If you sit down and you get I downloaded the owner's manual from GoPro, and it's well written. So anytime that you take the time to read a manual, and that's what I have always done. Back when I was employed by a company or doing consulting work, if I was confronted by a new program, sometimes you could order a manual and that thing would have 700 or 800 pages. And I was one of these people who would read word for word the complete manual. And when you do that with a program, you will discover things that a lot of people, they don't know because they've never pursued it. Because it's possible to take a program and use it for your work, but there's so many functions that you can use, and a lot of those that are not word-for-word readers of manuals, when they come up with a problem, they will know that it can be done, but they don't know how to do it. And that's the advantage you have if you read a manual word for word. But what they would do is they would just go get a manual and search it out, and then they could do it. The only difference between doing that and not reading the manual is taking the time to understand what the program will do. But anyway, I want to get back to doing some of my short stories, and I want to cover some different subjects, but mainly what I want to continue to do is something that's always been the most popular thing that I've ever done on YouTube, and that's road videos. So I'm going to be doing road videos in 4K, 60 frames per second. The only problem is when you're doing 4K with 60 frames per second, the camera is creating some huge files. And like on some of my trips where I would go like 4 hours or so, the only way that I'm going to be able to do that, I'm going to I have two, you can't see them because they're over there behind my laptop, but I have two external hard drives, plus the one in the laptop, and I also have some installed on my desktop. I have more than one hard drive in that desktop. But I have, 4 or 5 terabytes of storage space. But when you're using a lot of video files, it really takes a lot of space to store those. I don't use cloud storage. To me, a lot of these people offer it for free, but I think if you get to a certain point, they want to charge for your storage. So with me, my preference is to keep all of my files local. So any of my files that I have to access, I don't have to leave this computer room to get them, because I have them stored. But I'm creating, especially with this 4K, I'm going to be creating so many large files that I'm going to have to I'm going to have to at least add another 8 terabytes to my system. I would pan it around, but my computer room is kind of junked up. It's small. It's a room in, I don't know what the dimensions are, but it's like a bedroom that I turned into a computer room. I even have an embroidery machine in here, if you can believe that. So, but you got to keep your mind active. And so that's what I'm doing, I guess, as well as having fun and meeting people all over the world and doing some things that I like and I enjoy doing. Well, this has been a long vlog, but I wanted to get started again, and I'm going to be doing some 4K 60 frame per second video vlogs. And I've been so many places, I'm trying to think of some new places to go. One place I haven't been to in a while is the pinnacle above Cumberland Gap. So I'm going to try to go there. And now that I've gone, or that I'm going to try to do nothing but 4K, I may be revisiting some of the places that I've been before. Well, you know, I was doing this video earlier and I decided to redo it because there's commands that you can give this GoPro. It operates off of voice commands. And I was talking about one of the commands that you could give it. and the camera heard the command and it did what it was supposed to do. So you're going to hear me give the command, and it may work and it may not. But here goes. GoPro, stop recording.